Okay, take 5,000 of this video. Welcome back to my channel. The video we've all been waiting for, at least that I've been waiting for, is my meet recap. I finally competed in my first powerlifting meet last weekend, December 7th. And all in all, I'm super happy with how it went. So I'm going to dive into those details, and at the end, I also have some tips for you guys if you're preparing for your first meet as well. First, in case you don't know too much about how our powerlifting meet works, basically each lifter is on the platform 9 times. You have 3 attempts at each of the 3 lifts, and the 3 lifts are squat, bench, and deadlift. Each lift is judged by 3 judges, and each judge either gives a white light for a good lift or a red light for a bad lift. In order for a lift to pass, you have to have at least 2 out of 3 white lights. I think that's really all you need to know to understand what I'm about to tell you guys about how my first meet went. But if you have any other questions, make sure to comment them below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to do that. I'm already excited for my next meet, which I think is going to be May 30th. And in addition to that, I'm about to go on some awesome adventures. So some awesome travel vlogs are coming up. So make sure to subscribe to see those. I'm super happy with how my first meet went, but there are some lessons learned and some tips I have for you other newbies if you're preparing for your first powerlifting meet as well. Diving right into how my meet went. I went 9 for 9, meaning that I didn't fail on any of my lifts. And one of the things I'm really happy with is I got all white lights, literally not one red light. So many people at my meet were missing lifts. And I understand if you're missing lifts, if you're reaching for a national record or just amazing PR or something like that. A lot of people at my meet were missing lifts for technical reasons instead. So I think it's super important. I think it's a super good goal that if you're a first-time competitor, make it your goal to get maybe not all white lights, but at least all good lifts. Go 9 for 9. That will prove to yourself that you can execute on the platform, that you can listen to the judges' commands and lift per the commands, and that you meet all of the technical standards for each lift. For me, the one thing that I really wanted to get out of the way was performing in front of an audience for the first time. That was honestly the one thing I was super nervous about. I was worried that I would get out in front of an audience and completely choke. I'm so happy that when I got on that platform, I completely zoned out the audience altogether. There's usually a judge standing right in front of you. He's the one that's going to give you the start command, the press command, all of that. And when I got on the platform, I just stared straight at him. I did not look at anything else at all. And then the other thing is my coach and I have made my setups for the lifts super robotic. I set up for each lift the same way every time, and I kind of have like a checklist that I run through. If you're nervous about the audience, have tunnel vision to that head judge and also just completely focus in on setting up for your lift, and everything else will fade away. So yeah, I was super happy that I was able to, execute in front of this audience. The thought of that had given me so much anxiety for so long. And now that I have gotten that out of the way, I'm already so excited to compete again. So don't worry about it too much. I know that's easier said than done. Like, people told me that leading up to my first meet, and I was still like a wreck. I was just like so in my head about everything that I couldn't hold a conversation. It's ridiculous. Not that serious, guys. It's just a meet. My only regret, I could have gone a bit heavier, but honestly, that just lights the fire inside me. Like, when I saw how fast those attempts moved, I'm like, I cannot wait to do better next time. Basically, when you're putting together like your attempt selections for your meet, you're going to choose an opener, and then for your second and third attempts, you'll have like your planned second and third attempts, and then you'll also have a low second, a low third, and a high second and a high third. Essentially, if the lift before goes slower than normal, or maybe you missed it for some reason, then you might go for the low second or third attempt. Or if the lift moves super fast, easier than usual, then you might go for the high attempt of your next lift. But anyways, let's get into the meet day footage. On squat, I probably could have gone for my high third attempt, but I wanted to go 3 for 3 on squats, and so I just stuck with the planned attempt of 242.5 pounds. It went up like a piece of cake. One cool thing about my third attempt on squat, it did beat the USPA state record for that weight class. It was then beat by someone else in my weight class, so I didn't end up like holding the state record, but you know, a cool little fun fact. For my third attempt, I got a little bit of confidence. The other two felt super easy, so I actually went up to 116 pounds, which was an all-time PR for me.
Start. Press. Right.
Finally, deadlift. I decided to go up to my high third attempt, which I was honestly really nervous about this third attempt. I was literally like in the warm-up room, like telling myself, like, if anything happens, just keep on pulling, don't stop pulling. And then as you can see, it like flew up. I walked off the platform after that lift and this guy was like, that looked like an opener. I'm not like too upset that I didn't go heavier. I wish I had, in a sense, because it is powerlifting, so I don't feel like my third attempt should have been that easy. But honestly, going into that meet, I could not have known that those lifts were gonna move that fast. All of those numbers were something that either I had never hit before or I had gotten close to, but it was like a super grinder when I'd gotten close to those numbers. So that kind of leads me into my tips for you guys if you're new powerlifters. First, my main tip is, and it's easier said than done, but try to find that balance of, you know, choosing conservative numbers where you are pretty confident that you're going to be able to hit them, but you also want to balance that kind of conservatism with having confidence in yourself at the same time. So I wish I kind of had a little more confidence in myself when choosing those attempts. My second tip, which I think is super important, is don't warm up too much. You don't want to be using all of your energy on the warm-ups. You want to be able to execute on the platform. And for me, that meant keeping my warm-up sets to a minimum. So I warmed up to 205 and then I stopped and then I started my squat attempts at 220. My personal advice will be to limit your warm-up sets to like 5 sets. That's not where you want to be using all of your energy. So that's my second tip for you. And then my third tip is make sure you have enough food with you the day of, but also make sure it's food that's not going to sit in your stomach. Honestly, I was continuously eating. Like I was eating between all of my attempts. I was eating during my warm-ups, and that might not work for everyone, but I purposely chose food that wouldn't really sit in my stomach. So for me, I went through like 3 apples that day, and then I used True Nut peanut butter. And the reason I chose to use that instead of real peanut butter, I knew that the fats in like real peanut butter would probably weigh me down. So I chose this alternative that was really low fat and high in protein and carbs, because those are probably the 2 macronutrients that you want with you on that day. In addition to that, I had a couple packets of electrolytes with me, and then I drink so much iced coffee, a ridiculous amount of iced coffee. If you guys buy those Starbucks iced coffee jugs, I'm addicted to them. I drank an entire one of those throughout the meet. I'm like one of those weird people that literally drinks iced coffee during their workout, so I knew that that would work well for me. But yeah, make sure you're not letting yourself get hungry. Last but not least, honestly guys, it's a powerlifting meet. It's not that serious, especially your first one. It's probably a local meet. Don't put too much pressure on it. It was a really fun day. Everyone was super nice. And honestly, now that I've kind of taken the training wheels off, I am so ready for my next meet. This honestly fueled my fire. So my goals for my next meet, deadlift, definitely hitting more than 300. 270 moved so freaking fast. I cannot wait to get past the 300 milestone. And then bench, I'm so sick of it being just such a weak lift. So my goal with bench is just to blow it up. Like, I don't care how much better it gets. I just want it to get better. If I'm competing at 63 kilograms, I would like to at least hit 63 kilograms for my bench. So I hit 116 pounds at the meet. Like, that's doable. 20 pounds? I can do it. I can do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this meet recap. I really loved competing and it was such a fun day for me, and I can't wait until my next meet. Last but not least, make sure to comment below, subscribe if you haven't yet, and give it a thumbs up. Oh my God, I sound like such a YouTuber. What the heck? Okay. Bye.